The Zephyrian delegation materialized on the neutral station's docking bay in perfect formation. 12 beings arranged in precise geometric patterns, their crystalline forms catching the artificial light like living prisms. Ambassador Vexandra stood at their center, her consciousness rippling with barely contained diplomatic authority. "The humans arrive," announced her aide, Kylthera, with the clinical detachment their species was renowned for. Sensors indicate a single vessel. Vexandra's form shifted to a deeper blue, indicating satisfaction. The Galactic Confederation had chosen wisely. This territorial dispute over the mineral-rich Kepler 442 system required delicate negotiation, not the crude posturing that had characterized previous conflicts. She had studied the human diplomatic records extensively. Their ambassador would likely arrive with a modest retinue, appropriate documentation, and the measured rhetoric their species seemed to favor in formal settings. The docking bay's atmospheric seals hissed open. What emerged was not what Vexandra had prepared for. The first figure through the airlock was indeed wearing what appeared to be diplomatic attire, a crisp uniform adorned with insignia that gleamed under the station's lights. But behind him came something that made every Zephyrian in the bay instinctively shift toward defensive crystalline formations. It was massive, nearly 3 meters tall, its body encased in what could only be described as mechanized death. Servo motors whined with each step as the figure, if it could be called that, clanked forward. Weapon systems were clearly visible across its armored frame. Energy readings spiked on every Zephyrian scanner. "Is this some form of intimidation tactic?" Kylthera whispered, her form flickering between orange alarm and violet confusion. But then the third figure emerged, and Vexandra's understanding of the situation became even more muddled. This human carried nothing threatening at all. In fact, she seemed to be carefully balancing a covered dish that emanated the most extraordinary olfactory signatures. Even through the atmospheric filters, something rich and sweet and utterly alien filled the air. "Ambassador Vexandra," the first human said, stepping forward with a practiced diplomatic smile. "I'm Ambassador Chen. Thank you for agreeing to these negotiations." He gestured to his imposing companion. "This is Commander Rodriguez representing our military interests in the Kepler system." The armored figure raised one massive gauntleted hand in what might have been a greeting. "Ma'am," came a surprisingly warm voice from within the helmet. "And this," Chen continued, indicating the third human, "is Dr. Sarah Martinez, our cultural attaché. She's brought something special for today's proceedings." Dr. Martinez stepped forward, her face bright with enthusiasm. "I made tiramisu," she announced proudly. "It's an Italian dessert." "Well, Earth Italian. I thought it might help the negotiations go more smoothly." Vexandra felt her consciousness spiral through several octaves of confusion. In 4 centuries of diplomatic service across 17 star systems, she had never encountered anything quite like this combination. "You brought," she said slowly, "a military commander and confectionery?" "Well," Ambassador Chen replied with perfect diplomatic composure, "you did say this was about territorial rights and resource allocation. Commander Rodriguez represents our defensive capabilities. We want to be very clear about our commitment to protecting our interests in the Kepler system." The commander nodded, his armor systems cycling through what appeared to be a threat assessment routine. "We're prepared for any scenario, Ambassador. My destroyer, the UES Indomitable, is maintaining position just outside the system perimeter. Crew of 400, enough firepower to glass a small moon." He paused, then added conversationally, "But we're really hoping that won't be necessary." Dr. Martinez beamed. "And I brought dessert because my grandmother always said you can't have a proper negotiation without something sweet to share. Food brings people together, you know, even if we're technically different species." Vexandra found herself caught between diplomatic protocol and genuine bewilderment. The Confederation's intelligence reports had suggested humans were unpredictable, but this seemed beyond their analytical models. "The dessert," she ventured, "is this some form of cultural ritual?" "Not exactly," Dr. Martinez replied, carefully uncovering her dish to reveal layers of coffee-soaked ladyfingers, creamy mascarpone, and dusted cocoa. "It's just nice. Tiramisu means pick-me-up in Italian. I thought we could all use a little picking up while we hash out these territorial boundaries." Commander Rodriguez's helmet turned toward the dessert with what seemed like genuine interest. "Doc's tiramisu is legendary on the ship. She won 3 bake-offs during our transit to get here. Ambassador Chen maintained his professional demeanor, but Vexandra caught what might have been amusement in his expression. Humanity believes in comprehensive diplomacy, he explained. We bring our full capabilities to any negotiation, our defensive strength, our cultural offerings, and our genuine desire for peaceful resolution. You're demonstrating that you could destroy us, Vexandra said slowly, while simultaneously offering to share food with us. That's about the size of it, Commander Rodriguez confirmed cheerfully. Though I should mention, the Indomitable's real secret weapon isn't the plasma cannons, it's the coffee machine in the mess hall. Doc here programmed it personally. Dr. Martinez's face lit up. Oh, we should totally invite everyone for coffee after the negotiations. I brought extra beans. Fair trade from the Columbia system. Vexandra looked at her delegation, then back at the humans. The massive destroyer captain was now discussing brewing techniques with apparent genuine enthusiasm. The diplomat was reviewing holographic territorial charts with professional competence. The cultural attaché was carefully portioning dessert onto what appeared to be actual ceramic plates she had somehow transported across interstellar space. This is, Vexandra announced, the most peculiar diplomatic approach I have encountered in 4 centuries of service. Is that good or bad? Dr. Martinez asked, holding out a plate of tiramisu with a hopeful expression. Vexandra accepted the plate, her crystalline form shifting to a warm amber that indicated curiosity. The dessert was extraordinary. Complex flavors that her species' enhanced sensory capabilities could appreciate in ways humans likely never imagined. It is, she said finally, surprisingly effective. 3 hours later, the territorial boundaries were settled with unprecedented efficiency. The Zephyrians retained mining rights to the outer system. Humanity received colonization rights to the habitable worlds. Both species agreed to joint scientific expeditions. And everyone agreed that Dr. Martinez's tiramisu was the best diplomatic tool the galaxy had seen in centuries. As the human delegation prepared to depart, Commander Rodriguez paused at the airlock. Ma'am, he said to Vexandra, if you ever need anything blown up or baked, you know who to call. Ambassador Chen shook hands with the Zephyrian delegation in the human custom. Thank you for a productive negotiation. I think this is the beginning of a very interesting alliance. Dr. Martinez was the last to leave, carefully packing her empty dishes. I'll send you the recipe, she promised. And next time I'm thinking creme brulee. It's French, they know about diplomacy too. As the human ship departed for the Kepler system, Vexandra found herself contemplating the afternoon's events. Perhaps there was something to be said for the human approach, bringing everything to the table, including the table itself and everything on it. Her aide approached, still flickering with confusion. Ambassador, how do we report this to the Confederation? Vexandra considered the question, then shifted to the deep green that indicated profound satisfaction. We tell them the truth, Calthera. The humans are exactly as unpredictable as advertised, and that, she added, savoring the lingering taste of coffee and mascarpone, may be precisely what this galaxy needs.